right, here. So we already talked about your black EK hatch in our previous video, but I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit more about this one. Like, what's the history behind it?
So this car started off as a joke, to be honest. So I used to have a 93 EG back in the days. Long story short, I had to sell it. And I bought this car from a buddy for $300 because I really wanted the duckbill wing. And it turned out to become my main race car. I put it away for 2 years. But this is the shining beauty of my car that I've always had at the track. I've had every swap but a K-swap in it.
So what kind of swaps did you have in this car? Like, what did it originally have?
So originally it started off with a non-VTEC 1.8, and over the time I upgraded to a 2-liter coming from my EG days, and I put VTEC on it. Then I started upgrading the boost, and then I had an H2B swap in it for a long time. I raced for, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years, and I decided to go back to a B series because getting H series stuff was a difficult thing to get. And
so right now it's a B20.
So right now it's a stock block B20. For, like I said before, I'm a stock block kind of guy. For all who know me, there's no parts, no nothing, just street fun.
And then to convert it to VTEC, what did you have to do to?
So this is essentially a CRV block from a 98 CRV, or sorry, 2000 CRV. And I took a B16 that I had bazillion of, and I put a head on it, made it mate. That's a real Frankenstein in my time. And this rest speaks for itself. You just start buying street setups. You bought the Ram Horn manifold, the Garrett Turbo. And I mean, this is also another one of those cars that was helped along the way. I needed to get a little bit faster. It wasn't fast enough. Money was tight. The boys over at JTech Performance always found a way to push me to the next level, and they put me to the next level. What can I say? Here I am, all-wheel drive.
So it's an all-wheel drive B20 VTEC with a Garrett Turbo. What size turbo are you running?
So pretty much it's like it's a Garrett GT30. Nothing too crazy. It's the equivalent to like your 6262 but smaller. Still makes average range around 600 horsepower for the turbo ratings. So comparison to my last car, it's the larger turbo but rated for the same horsepower. But neither car see it.
And then the intercooler is pretty big. Like, is that just a bolt-on? Like, you just bought it, or?
That's just Jamaican in me. You know what I mean? We just like big shit. And you know what I mean? On those hot days, like when guys are lagging because their coolers are small, I have a really large intercooler, guys. It's just something I always have. It's up to, you know?
So when did you go all-wheel drive? Is this all before like the S1 stuff? All the S1 kids started coming in, or?
So I wanted to go all-wheel drive, honestly, when they were selling a kit called Odyssey kits, and instead of me going that route, I thought there was a better idea engineering-wise. So I spent a year trying to figure out a way to do it while other companies were coming up with this stuff like FCS and Hub City Performance. And I actually started building my own kit at the time when S1 was coming around, not knowing that someone here was already doing it, and it was my same idea, so I sold it. I was already sold. I bought into S1.
So like before you bought into S1, what parts did you already have to convert it?
So before I bought the S1 kits that were sold like locally to anybody, I was already fabbing my own kit. So I pretty much had made my own ASR brace to make the diff, which never really got on the car as a fabrication, but never got used. The current stuff I'm still using currently everything from a 08 plus CRV, so pretty much drivetrain, bearings, it's full fly bolt, everything CRV, including the front spindles, back spindles, you name it. Well, the back spindles were custom made by me. So I do use a CRV bearing, but from a 98 instead of a 04 that's being currently used. a lot of little minor things, but they're big things, I guess, now that the future holds a lot more.
And then to go all-wheel drive, you need a drive shaft. What kind of drive shafts are you?
So I started off using the CRV drive shaft as a whole. Does it work? Yes. Is it good for racing? No. On the street versus a track, I loved it on the street, but at the track it was a weird feeling at first. But as you progress, as I did, I moved up to the Freelander shaft, which
Come from a Land Rover.
coming from a Land Rover. And now that's where I'm currently waiting on installing. I found out the cost of what this stuff costs is a little bit out of my price budget, but it's never quit, keep going. So in 2024, hope to be racing this thing all season. I have all the components to get going. And I spent the last couple years not racing it, learning on how to build a car more consistent, more stronger, and more cost effective, because not everybody has PPG money. You know? But
So-
PPG is the way to go if you have the money.
So it's a fully stock CRV tranny,
So-
transfer case.
Stock block, stock cylinder head, other than cams, the generic. I just got Type R cams, springs retainers, stock block, stock head. Like I said, stock transfer case, stock diff.
And since you went all-wheel drive, are you running a fuel cell or what? Obviously, you can't run a gas tank, so
So I chose to go the route that at the time for me that was most cost effective, which is going with the Speed Factory 2.2 gallon fuel cell in the front versus the FCS 10 gallon in the rear. But if I can move times of the thing, if I could have saved up a little more money, I would have went that route because I really love street cars. But I'm really more satisfied with what I have now because I actually want to go that much more faster. And both setups work for either or application. I just chose to convert my car from a street car to a race car. This is the reason why I went with the Speed Factory tag over the FCS.
okay. So moving over to like suspension, like what kind of suspension are you running?
So the suspension I'm currently running BC Racing. This was my daily car at one time in life that I used to circuit. That now is slowly becoming a drag car. So suspension wise, everything is freshened. So I got Skunk 2 lower control arms. I have OEM control arms in the front with upgraded bushings, except for the compliance bushings. Like everything upgraded underneath. Like you
And
name
then-
it, but blocks, upper control arms, Skunk 2 upper control arms, LCA's done, like I said. Sway bar done in the front, Type R. In
And
the
then
rear.
bracing as well. I see that big X bar in the back.
Yeah, so I got the PLM Miracle X Bracer, whatever you want to call it thing, Virginia, the Jungle Gym. I got it there, no cage, but it's a circuit thing. It looks cool. I like it.
So like, how long ago did you repaint this car? The paint's fresh on this.
So this car got painted from this day in 2013.
Wow.
And I've had this set up in the car since 2020, and all-wheel drive fab fitted then at the end of the season, and was using it in 2021. It's been a long time waiting with this car, you know. It's always been the battle between the K and the B. I got to race a K all this year. I have nothing but good news to say about a K, but I feel B still has a way with it, I feel, that a K can't really provide. But top end on the K is so beautiful. It's not the same in the B, but a B just gives you a feel that you just can't say no.
It's just more violent, or
It's a driver's car, if I had to say anything. You know, it's a feeling. Like you can't describe the feeling unless you have it. A K is very linear. It's like owning a refined Type R. You didn't get this in this time. This is a B20. This is man-made.
yeah. And then wheels and tires. Obviously, you had slicks on it.
So no, this car I always ran slicks 2-wheel drive. I currently is running 4 radios on VMS rims, 8 inches wide, and Mickey Thompson ET streets all the way around. I'm looking to move into the slicks all the way around. I just played kind of scared with the slicks, but you know, breaker goes what I say, you know, so we're gonna find out. And see what next year holds and see what we can do with it. I think a little time away sometimes is a good thing. A little vacation away. You spend a lot of time fighting gremlins that's not there or there. So,
So you plan on racing both this car and the black EK as well?
well, Black Ghost, I don't know if I'll be racing that as much this year. We can call that as a backup. I really just need to experience it for myself. I build a lot of cars for everybody else, and it's not the same when you could race a car that's yours and build one for somebody else and do the same. Like, when you have your own, you can do what you want, and I did it very mild, I felt. Where this is something from my time, my era, my life, B-Series, so it's a little different. I don't have to think about this, where K-Series is kind of like Lego, you know what I mean?
It's like all new to you.
It's not really new. It's still Honda. It's I feel that what I have dedicated in this B series for a stock motor, I believe the K series could surpass that number for sure. It's a bigger motor, displacement, there's no replacement for displacement. So you already start off with a motor I have the biggest of. So I would imagine it would be bigger and faster. And they just flow better. Like it's new. Like you can't live in the past. Like, you know, carburetors are cool for your lawnmower, but they're fuel injected now.
Yeah. So you have like any other plans other than the drive shaft for next year to get it running, or do you want to change things up for going down the road, or?
Well, there's lots of things I'd like to change. If I had the lotto winning tomorrow, I think I'd be into a new drivetrain instantly. And seeing as my B series is becoming discontinued instead of like extinct, I gotta hang on to whatever I can hang on to keep this car alive. So I'm debating if I really want to race this car full time still, or use it as a show car / exhibition car, because I definitely have to race it at least twice a year. So twice a year is a good trashing on a car like this that you can't get parts for at a very reasonable cost. And if I'm going to be putting that kind of coin into a car, I feel that I should be using it and to the full potential. And then if I'm only doing a couple hits a year, then I feel that I better spend the visa.
So if you're not planning on racing this full time in the future, are you hinting that you're going to be buying or building another actual car that you want to race like every season?
Well, that's the thing. I don't say I get bored, but I like to stay up to the times. Like, you know, I've raced in '93, I've raced in '97, there's '98. If I go in the future, I think I need to start stepping into the FD2 class or the FA5s and chassis
8
like that.
gens or 9 gens, basically.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Get into the 9 gens and start dabbling in those. Like, can't be stuck here, you know what I mean? As much as I love this car as much, I also like the new stuff too. And I'm a very open-minded kind of guy, and I feel that you know, there's power in anything that lies. Like, there's other vehicles I have that I would love to get my hands wet in. Like, all who know me know that I've always been a Honda guy to death in me, but I've been looking at GMs all day. Just saying, you know what I mean? You want to go fast, I watched a lot of the Honda guys over the years I respectfully race, like Murder Civic. You know, watching this guy race a bunch of Hondas. Now he's in a Mustang making records out there. You know what I mean? And it just goes to show you that it's not about the car anymore. It's about the car you want, and the cost and what you like and what you love. And I love a street car at the racetrack. And That's what I've always built, and I think it's time sometimes to step outside your comfort zone
And build a full-on street car or race car.
and build on a full-on race car. It doesn't have to be a Honda. You never know with me. That's the problem. I'll be throwing curveballs all day.
Alright, man. Like, it's a crazy car. Put a lot of money and hard work into it throughout the years. It's a nice car, man.
Thanks.
Excited to see what you're going to be building soon. Excited to see this car come out next year, all-wheel drive.
Well, a few more noodle packs and one more pair of shoes, and I get this car back on the road, and I can be back to normal almost.